This is question 3. The lungs are organs in the human respiratory system. What is meant by the term organ? And there's 2 marks there. So an organ has got a specific function, a vital function in the body. It performs one function, like a heart is there to pump blood. The lungs are there to exchange gases. So you could either give an example function or give this general definition. So, an organ has a specific function, or you could have said vital function or essential. So that's the first mark. And the second mark is telling us what it's made out of. Some people said it's made out of cells and so on, which is true, but that's not really with the definition. We want it's made out of several tissues working together. So made from several tissues. I can't spell tissues. Tissues working together. So an example would be a heart is an organ, and it's made from cardiac tissue, nervous tissue, and so on. Or lungs, which are made from epithelial tissue, and capillaries there, so that'd be endothelial tissue. Goblet cells are specialised to help protect the lungs. I'll explain how goblet cells protect the lungs. So if you've got some cells there, we've got ciliated cells, and then we might have a goblet cell there. And the function of this is to produce mucus, which then traps dust and particles, and these can be, the cilia can wave them out of the way, and then they'll be coughed up or ingested. So the 2 marks, goblet cells, these secrete mucus, and then this mucus traps pathogens. Or particles or something, dust. There is another function for this mucus. It keeps the surfaces moist. We could say that keeps surfaces moist, stops them from drying up. And part C, emphysema. It's a chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, or COPD. Describe how damage to the alveoli in the lungs leads to emphysema. And we need 4 of these. We can start off, if you look at the little diagram of alveoli, kind of cross section, it's kind of lots of small air sacs. In emphysema, so that's normal, and in emphysema these are bigger because the alveolar walls have become damaged. And we just need to explain that and then explain the consequences. So, first of all, let's say the definition for emphysema, what it damages the squamous epithelium. So, damage to squamous epithelium of the alveoli. So that's what we're talking about. When this damage occurs, what's the problem? These walls then end up thicker. So these walls here will be much thicker. So thickens walls, or there might be scar tissue building up. Another problem that you might not have got this, but they might become inflamed as well, so they might kind of swell up and become inflamed. or swell up. And so we describe the problem. So this problem is that we've got less surface area for gas exchange now, and these air spaces are now too big. So we've got larger air spaces, and so that's now a decreased surface area. And so the outcome of this is we get less gas exchange, or less diffusion of oxygen into the blood. So less gas exchange, less oxygen into the blood. And another point that we could have mentioned, a loss of elastic tissue. So when you breathe in, you can breathe out automatically without putting any effort in, because of the kind of stretchiness or the recoil of your elastic tissue in the lungs. So we can also put that down for another point. Less elastic properties. Yeah, they do not recoil. And you just needed 4 of those.